It was school shows, yeah. I think the first thing I did was I played the Munchkin Mayor in The Wizard of Oz. When I'm 6'2" now, so you can't really imagine the fact that I was ever a munchkin. But I was, and it was great. At school, I think I was in third year, and we did really good school shows. We were very lucky. The teachers really, all the departments, so the art department did the set, the woodwork department built this massive, beautiful set, because it was an auditorium we were in, so there was no wing space or anything in our theatre. So they built it all for us, and then the art department would get on it and do their magic, and then we had our PE teachers would do choreography for us, and actually a French teacher did the costume. I don't know how that worked out, but that's what happened. But the whole school got involved, and of course as soon as I found out there was a school show, you couldn't join it until you were in third year. First and second year you couldn't do it, although the year of Wizard of Oz, they were obviously the Munchkins, but they couldn't be principals. So I was the Munchkin Mayor, and I remember making my own top hat, and it was like a massive big purple hat thing that I had to make with a big buckle on the front. I went to town with it. It was great. My family were always Beatles fans, so we knew every words to the Beatles songs, and I would be singing. I would sing Mull of Kintyre in the bath when I was 2. Apparently I knew all the words. So I think it was inevitable that as I grew up, I was going to be some sort of performer.
So what happened between the school shows and becoming a professional actor and things like Colin the Chef and PC Plum and so on?
Well, that was amateur theatre, really. That's the same as everything. We had a teacher, a chemistry teacher in our school called Finlay Waters, and he was the director of a Johnson Phoenix Theatre Group, which I'm the patron of now, and I've directed for them in the past and been principal for them, been in the chorus for them as well. Over 31 years I think I've been involved with the club, but that was my first introduction to theatre. So I would go in, auditioned at 15 years old, I think I was, when Mr. Waters told me to kind of come along, and I sang Leaning on a Lamppost. I remember singing the song, and of course I was a guy, so I was going to get in. You know, anything with amateur theatre, if you're a guy and you're good enough and you can face the right direction, you're going to get in. I then went to drama college when I was 17, so I was quite early doing that as well, and having higher drama. I was lucky. I had a very good assistant head teacher that she was at the time, Mrs. Walker. She knew that I loved theatre, and she looked at the school shows, and our school didn't supply any sort of drama lessons or anything. We're talking a way back, you know. Not all schools then had drama departments, and a school locally had a drama department, and a very good one, and she organised with the other school for me then to get a taxi twice a week at lunchtime to the other school, and then spend the afternoon, a Tuesday and a Thursday afternoon, and I did standard grade drama, higher drama, and then graduated from doing that and then going to drama college. So she really was a big part of me getting into drama college, because that was the foundation that I needed to go to college to then study to be an actor.
Colin the Chef, PC Plum, children's television, generally. How did that start?
Funnily enough, it didn't start with that. So when I graduated from drama college, I always wanted to be... when we went on holiday when I was younger, we always went to Butlins and Ayr, Wonder West World or Butlins or whatever it was called at different times, red coats and all sorts. And I was a big Heidi High fan as well, but I always wanted to be a red coat. So when I came out of drama college, I kind of thought I still would quite fancy doing that. I was only 20, and I thought I could still maybe do a wee something here. And I got a job in Rothsay as a green coat in the Coast and Country hotels. Shearing coaches would go, and all these people would turn up, and it was an adult kind of hotel. It was all kind of retired people would come, and we would do bingo, and we'd play hoy, and we would have cabarets, and Margaret Zavaroni would sing, who was Lena Zavaroni's cousin. So we had lots of bands and magicians and all comedians would all come, and I was part of the resident entertainment team there for quite a while, and I loved it. It was great, and I got to do the ballroom dancing at night and everything in the nice big hotel. So that was something that really kind of satisfied that need to be a red coat. So then going from that, I went into children's theatre, TIE stuff, and going around gym halls doing the Vikings and pantomimes. So that's when I got the bug for kids entertainment and theatre, and that's when then I thought I need to start doing some stuff for kids TV.
And was that an audition, or were you spotted?
That was an audition for... It then became Balamory, but when I first was seen for that, it was called Applecross. That's the name of the programme then, and it was still in development as far as the BBC were concerned. So they were looking for 8 characters, and they had an idea of who the characters were going to be job-wise, maybe name-wise, but they didn't really have an awful lot of information of what they wanted. I think they were waiting to see who was going to come through the door. And they saw thousands of people, loads of people. I was in 3 times or so for different reasons. The first time I was in was just to tell a story and sing a song. There was no characters involved at that point. It was just to see whether they liked you as a person. And then from that, they got me back in and they'd sent me through some scenes. And by that point, in the first kind of casting part, they said to me, if you were to be a person in this show, would you be a bus driver, or would you be an inventor or a policeman? And I said, well, my dad used to be a policeman, and my uncle's very high up in the police, and my mum's uncle was a policeman, and I'm tall, so I think probably I would probably be a policeman. And then they said to me, do you drive? If it was the bus driver that you would maybe be considered for? And I said, I don't drive. I can drive now, but not then. I said, I don't. I said, but I can cycle. And I think it might be quite nice if the policeman had a little bike with a bell on it and it would go tring tring and cycle around the island and thing. And they went, okay, that's a nice idea. So then I went back in. That was the second time I went back in, and they sent me through a script. And in the script was the character PC Plum cycling on his bicycle into the nursery, falling through the door and crashing into the nursery and apologising to this character, Miss Hooley, who they now had, and the relationship between PC Plum and Miss Hooley. And that was the second casting. And then I got back again, and Julie Wilson-Nimmo, who played Miss Hooley, was there along with lots of other women, all lined up in chairs. And I went in and I auditioned as PC Plum with lots of different people. And then eventually Julie and I got to do it together, and we were like, right, come on, we'll go and sit in the corner and we'll kind of rehearse wee bits and do stuff. And we did. And then they got us in, and then they got us back in again. I noticed at that point, that the guys were kind of disappearing. I thought there's less and less of us here now. This is quite a good sign. I was still quite young. What did I know about casting? I just kind of thought, this is the way the day happens, but I didn't know much about that. So then the day went on, and then I left and went home, and that very day, that night, I got a phone call from my agent then saying, and I went, hello, and she was like, hello, PC Plum. And I was like, oh my goodness. And the first thing I was like, who's Miss Hooley? And she was like, it was Julie Wilson-Nimmo. I was like, yes, because we spent so much time on that day together.
Thank you so much for listening to this interview. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button and ring that notification bell. And there are many, many more to listen to on this channel, so make sure you subscribe if you possibly can. Thank you.